If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. I want you to think about that. Let it sink in. Because the truth is, most people will never be wealthy, not because they lack the ability, but because they lack the discipline, the understanding, and most importantly, the right philosophy. Wealth is a product of your mindset, your habits, and your actions. But here's the problem. Most people operate on autopilot, living out patterns that lead them to mediocrity, not mastery. So why is it that the vast majority struggle to ever achieve financial independence, let alone wealth? It's not a question of talent. It's not even about opportunity. After all, haven't you seen people with every advantage squander their potential? And haven't you seen others who seem to have the odds stacked against them rise to extraordinary levels of success? What makes the difference? The answer lies in philosophy and behavior. I was once told that to have more, you must first become more. I mean, how simple can it get? But it's a profound idea. Wealth is attracted to you by the person you become. It's not something you pursue. It's something you attract by your own growth, by what you do, and by how you think. But here's where most people falter. Instead of becoming students of success, they become victims of their circumstances. Instead of learning how money works, they let money control their lives. They spend instead of invest. They react instead of plan. They hope instead of act. Think about the habits of most people. When they earn money, what's the first thing they do? They spend it. They earn money, spend money. Maybe earn a little more money, spend a little more money. See how this works? They buy things they don't need. And most of the time, it's to impress people they don't even like. They confuse wealth with appearance, but the two couldn't be more different. Wealth is quiet. It's subtle. It's the discipline to delay gratification today for a better tomorrow. Most people, though, are caught in a cycle of immediate gratification, and that cycle keeps them broke. Then there's the issue of education. Not formal education, but financial education. You see, it's not what you know, it's what you don't know that holds you back. Most people were never taught how to create wealth, how to think about money, or how to manage it effectively. No wonder so many people fall into the same traps generation after generation. They simply don't know there's a better way. And even when they do, they resist change because it's uncomfortable. Success is not comfortable. It isn't supposed to be. The path to wealth requires sacrifice, discipline, and a willingness to do what others won't. It's about becoming a master of your own mind, breaking free from the myths and misconceptions that keep you stuck, and building a life based on principles that work. If you want to create financial success, you have to think differently than the average person. You got to challenge the conventional wisdom and be willing to do what most people won't. And I'm telling you, the road to wealth isn't crowded. It's the uncommon path taken by those who dare to question, learn, and act. But here's another thing. One of the greatest obstacles to wealth is the inability to delay gratification. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two people. One spends every extra dollar they earn indulging in the pleasures of the moment. The other invests those dollars, letting them grow over time. And at first, it looks like the spender seems to be living a better life. But here's the thing. Fast forward 10, 20, 30 years, and you'll see a stark difference. The investor now has a mountain of assets, while the spender has little to show for years of effort. Why does this happen? Because most people are seduced by the immediate. They want the vacation now, the new car now, the fancy dinner with a perfectly grilled steak at a nice restaurant. They want that now. But wealth requires patience. It requires a long-term perspective. It's about planting seeds today and nurturing them until they bear fruit. And here's the truth. Most people aren't willing to wait. They want the fruit without the planting, without the watering, without the time. Here's another trap that keeps people from wealth. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of stepping outside their comfort zone. Sound familiar to anyone? You see, fear paralyzes. It makes people settle for less than they're capable of. It keeps them in jobs they hate, in situations that don't serve them, and in patterns that hold them back. But you see, wealthy people learn how to manage that fear. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. They embrace challenges, knowing that each one is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. You know what else you'll never catch a wealthy person doing? Wasting time. Time is your most precious resource. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. But how do most people spend their time? Watching television, scrolling through distractions, or doing work that doesn't move them toward their goals. Wealthy people understand the value of time. They leverage it. They focus on high-value activities, things that produce results, things that multiply their efforts. They delegate or eliminate anything that doesn't align with their priorities. And because they value their time, they're willing to invest in tools, education, and resources that save time or increase efficiency. Here's what else they don't do. Getting back to the practical side of things. Wealthy people never rely too much on one source of income. Think about it. If you only have one stream of income, what happens when it dries up? You're vulnerable. Wealthy people, however, understand the importance of diversification. They build multiple streams of income, investments, businesses, royalties, partnerships. This doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with the mindset of creating options. You know the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But here's the key. First, you need to have enough eggs to diversify. That means building a solid foundation, living below your means, and creating savings and investment habits. Only then can you start to expand and multiply your wealth. There's another critical piece of this puzzle, and that's focus. You got to stay focused. Most people dabble. They try one thing, then another, without ever committing fully to any of them. They lack direction, and so their energy gets scattered. Wealthy people are laser focused. They pick a path, commit to mastering it, and stay the course. Of course, they adapt when necessary, but they don't abandon their vision at the first sign of trouble. They understand that mastering their craft takes time and effort. But dabblers quit when things get tough. And that's why they never build the momentum that they need for success. And when they quit, what do you hear from most of them? Not all of them, but most of them. You hear excuses. How often do you hear people say they can't afford to save, they don't have the time, or it's too late for them to start? These are the lies. But ask yourself, How bad do you want it? Because here's the truth. You can't half commit to success. You have to be all in. You have to decide that your future is worth the effort, the discomfort, and the time it takes to get there. It's up to you to make the decisions. Every choice you make is a step in one direction or another. Are your choices leading you toward wealth, or are they keeping you stuck in mediocrity? Are you spending your time wisely? Are you investing in yourself? Are you creating value for others? These are the questions that shape your destiny. But here's the beauty of it. You don't have to get it all right at once. Wealth is built step by step, decision by decision. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Start small if you need to. Save just a little more. Learn just one new skill. Set just one clear goal. Because those small steps add up. Over time, they create momentum. And once you have momentum, you become unstoppable. One of the greatest truths I've ever learned is this: success is predictable. It's not a mystery. It's a formula. But it's a formula that requires you to show up, to do the work, and to keep going, even when it's hard. Most people will never follow that formula because they're too focused on the short term. But those who do, those who commit to the process, find that wealth isn't just a possibility, it's a certainty. I'm going to leave you with this thought. The world doesn't owe you wealth, but it does offer you the opportunity to create it. The question is, will you take that opportunity? Will you break free from the patterns that hold most people back? Will you invest in yourself, your future, and your legacy? The choice is yours, and the time to start is now. Because here's the truth. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom. It's about options. It's about living life on your terms and giving back in ways that make a difference. And that's something worth striving for, isn't it?